Good afternoon, AP European History. Well, it's getting close. We're down to under 24 hours until the AP European History test. And for those of you taking it, I want to wish you good luck. I know you'll do fine. Just be focused, and all the preparation that you've done up to this point is going to pay off. Um, I just want to remind you of a couple of things as we push forward in the next 24 hours. First off, remember that the exam is tomorrow. It is Central Time. We're Central Time. So the Central Time is right here at 3 p.m. So you should have gotten an email with your ticket on Monday, and that will tell you how you can sign in about a half hour before, so about 2:30 tomorrow. And then at 3 o'clock, your ticket or your question will pop up, and it will give you a clock, a countdown clock, and so you'll have to go from there and begin your essay. The way it sounds after looking at Twitter over the last day, as the other AP exams have popped up, it looks like there's random questions that a student might see. So not everybody, it sounds like, may not get the same question. So if you talk to someone about the exam afterwards, you may not have gotten the same questions. I don't know if that's true with AP European history or not, but there's always that possibility, and you won't know anyway because you'll have the one question in front of you, and you'll have to focus on that. So that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. I shared on Canvas this sheet. Fiveable is one of those review websites that I've talked about. And this is one of those cheat sheets. If you have a printer or you have it open up in a separate window, this can be a nice reference just to kind of refresh your memory on some of the key concepts and the different periods. So the period 1, Renaissance, Reformation, Exploration, up to 1648. Period 2, Absolutism, Enlightenment, and Revolution. So that takes us through Scientific Revolution, Enlightenment, and then all the way up through the French Revolution to the end of Napoleon. And then period 3 is basically the long 19th century. Industrialization, the effects of industrialization, and a lot of those isms that we went over. So that's always something nice to look at as well. Kind of make sure you're reviewing your review sheets if you filled them out. That's always a good idea as well. You might want to remind yourself of the modified DBQ rubric. You still have to have a thesis and a claim. So remember, this is an argumentative essay. So make sure you're making an argument. You need that context. How did this event come to be, whatever the question's about? And make sure, as I mentioned in the Zoom meeting the other day, for those who were there, with the context and with your evidence, you just want to be specific. The more specific you are, the better you will be. Don't have vague sentences. So be specific. So the thesis, again, it's a argumentative essay. That's part of your introduction. It can be in your conclusion, but it's most likely going to be in your introduction so that the reader knows what you're arguing. Make sure you have that context, the background information. And then as you go through your evidence, this is using the 5 documents. So what I mentioned the other day in the Zoom meeting is maybe a good rule could be is dividing up the documents between 2 body paragraphs. So evidence from the documents, and the more documents you use, the more points you will get. You can also use evidence beyond the documents, and that's mentioned here in the rubric as well, down here at the bottom. So this is using evidence beyond the documents. So you can incorporate that into your body paragraphs. As you talk about these documents, you can also incorporate that outside evidence. You want to make sure you explain what the document is saying. So this is putting it into your own words. You want to point out its bias or its point of view. And you also want to make sure that you connect those documents and your outside evidence back to your argument, back to your thesis. And so you have your introductory paragraph with your thesis and contextualization, and then you have your maybe 2 body paragraphs. You split up a couple documents in each paragraph, and then you have a quick conclusion. You have 45 minutes. It counts down. It'll basically stop you from typing at that 45 minutes. Then you'll have about 5 minutes to submit. You can do this in a Google Doc and transfer it over. I think there's a window for you to type it in and on the AP site. Go into Twitter or something like that to see some of the issues that might be popping up. They've been few and far between the way it sounds, but there have been issues. But they are offering people who have an issue and they can't submit or they can't type or something happens to be able to take the test in June. So the cheat sheet, the rubric. One thing I always like to point out, last year before the AP European exam, we sat and watched Tom Ritchie's live review. He will start it at 9 a.m. Eastern time. He's on the East Coast, so I'm assuming that's 9 a.m. Eastern time, so that's about 8 a.m. our time. But you could always check in, and he's just going to be, he's going to be live up until probably about a half hour or so before the exam at 3 o'clock our time. And you can type in questions over here on the side, and he will try to get to them, or a period, a question, or whatever it might be, something vague. But he's going to be talking, and that's a good review. If you have questions between now and tomorrow, please let me know, and I will try to answer them. All I have to say again is good luck. After tomorrow, AP European History is pretty much done. For those not taking the exam, you will probably get an email from me letting you know what you need to complete to make sure everybody passes, especially the few that have not participated in the last couple of months. I hope everyone is safe. I look forward to seeing you in the fall in the hallway if you stop by. But I'll give you another message before this semester is over, which is next week. Time flies. Hold on to your books, put those in a safe spot, and we'll return those in the fall as well, the way it sounds, or sometime during registration, but we'll get them back from you. Email me if you have questions, and I will talk with you soon.